Please, go ahead, Dave.
Live from Shadowmere Studios, it's TalkyBox. I like that I do the live thing, even though this is clearly pre-recorded.
Yeah. I mean, it's live
it's
right now.
Right now we're live,
right
yeah.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Be pre-recorded by the time it reaches anybody's ears.
Right. It's currently recording.
Mm-hmm.
Today on TalkyBox,
All right.
a few topics. We got the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then we want to talk about this new show coming out called Westworld.
Yep.
Based on an old Michael Crichton movie from the 70s, I think it was. 60s or 70s.
Yeah,
it was
I think
a while
it's
back.
70s, and I think it was also a book, too.
That's the one where the dinosaurs are like in that alien underwater thing.
Yeah, and then one of the dinosaurs has a chip in its brain that makes it act out.
Right.
Or when it's around gorillas.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm with you.
That's Westworld.
Westworld.
Starting it off, though, I guess we should introduce it. This being our first official episode, hopefully.
And we're going to hit the ground running with this one.
We're going to, I guess, introduce ourselves.
Seems fair enough.
You said that with a question mark.
I did. I said it with a question mark. You can see it in the thing. Phone's not on silent.
I left mine, outside the studio.
And that was smart. That was a good idea.
Right.
We'll
But
do something
it
about
almost
that later.
sounded like you meant to make that noise.
Did it?
Well,
I didn't, but okay.
we could have pretended.
Yeah, should have done that. Anyway, let's kick it off with Justin Bobby, which is not his real name.
No, not even remotely.
Introduce yourself, and then we'll ask you some
I
questions
guess.
about who you really are.
Well, the name is Justin,
Uh-huh.
which is a natural jumping point to Justin Bobby.
Yeah.
I've been around on this earth for about 27 winters or so, moving into my 27th winter.
Okay.
Is this Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
If this is Game of Thrones, he's very, very old.
Very old.
He has fought back some demons.
Oh, yes.
They're everywhere. I think we all fought back some demons in our own way.
Stay on mic. I've been warned.
Yeah, you're notorious.
So, Justin Bobby from Pasadena, California. No,
Great
that's not
state
true.
of Pasadena, California.
Great state.
No, you're from Florida, right?
Born in Florida.
Yeah.
Raised in Florida, Tennessee, Indiana, Georgia.
At the same time, everybody.
Yep.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I think that's
hence-
Lookout Mountain, right?
Hence my very thick Southern accent.
Right.
Yes.
We all have very sick Southern accents.
Sick and
Sick and thick.
Southern.
Sick and Southern accents.
I mean, sometimes I become concerned as to whether or not somebody who does not hail from the southern states would even be able to understand anything in my dialect.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell.
It's
Yeah.
one of my challenges. It's one of my personal obstacles that I'm working on. But yeah.
Now, in these 27 years on this earth here, you
Winters.
27 winters.
Yeah, we don't know that he's been through the rest of
Yeah,
the year.
might not have been the entire year, it's just the winter parts.
He hibernates the whole rest of the time.
It's like being born in the Arctic, I guess. Like, it's always winter all the time.
Always.
Bleak.
Yeah.
I actually just travel to only be in places where it is winter.
Northern,
Yeah.
southern hemisphere
Yeah.
transfers.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
That makes sense. So what have
Have
you
you ever
done?
met a Jew? Because they're on the other side. They follow the sun. They're people of the sun. People of the light.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
Even though they follow the lunar calendar.
then I would say that every Jewish person I've met must be a liar and therefore not Jewish.
That is a horrible way to just come across.
We can take that out in post.
We're gonna edit that. No, we're not.
Yeah, we'll leave it in, even though it's terrible.
Terrible.
But yeah, in your 27 winters, what have you before you joined TalkyBox? What kind of stuff did you do with your life? I know there's some restaurant in there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of restaurant in there.
Yeah.
Back in the educational era, when I was going through the schools,
Yeah.
I was big into the English and the drama and the science and math too. I mean, really.
I can definitely tell the drama from your prolonged pauses throughout this entire interview.
Yeah, it's
Was that for effect? I thought he was just creating all of this.
It could be. He might just be lying everything he says.
I assume he's a serial killer.
I mean, I could be discovering my lines as they come about in my head,
Right.
but
He's
I
reading
think
this from a script.
everyone knows that I'm reading every word of this. Yeah, mostly a lot of restaurants these last few years, doing some cooking, some serving, some managing, mathing, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Dave, as you said.
I agree.
Yeah, Jason agrees. I'm 34 years old as of back in August.
How many winters does that translate to?
Like 14 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, I have a degree in broadcasting, which is...
Solid start.
Yeah, which is kind of where a lot of this came from. Wouldn't have been able to do this had not pursued radio and such for several years. It's just where we kind of came across this equipment that we have that fell off the back of a truck.
Very
allegedly.
Fortunately. I was just gonna buy everything, but it just it's really expensive after a while.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Actually, right off the bat.
Immediately expensive.
Yep.
There's no lengthy while involved.
Yeah, as soon as you hit checkout
Yeah.
on the...
Once you go from the, I'm going to need one of these, to the, that's how much it costs.
Yep.
There you go. There's the transitional period. That's the while that you have. So is there anything else? You got a bachelor's?
I do have a bachelor's in broadcasting from the Georgia Southern University. I've lived virtually my entire life here in Georgia. I also have a thick Southern accent.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So,
I attribute my accent mainly to my father being from California.
Right.
Whereas my mother was from Georgia. Still is from Georgia, I guess. But yeah, I also don't have much of an accent.
So this degree in broadcasting, what sort of aspirations does that hold for you?
I originally wanted to be in radio. I always thought that the DJs on the radio were the coolest opportunity you could have to sit there and listen to music and talk about music all you want. Did learn, not very lucrative.
Really?
Of a job. Now it can be, depending on a lot of these morning talk show hosts and stuff, they can make some serious money. But your average guy on the radio is probably has another job.
Wow.
He's got to have to make ends meet and stuff.
Or he sells himself to local bars. That kind of thing. Working the patio.
Right. So, second job.
So when you realize that...
Or third job or fifth job, whatever.
So when you realize that this dream job of yours would leave you fiscally in need for a good period of time, what did you decide to do then? Or where have you...
It wasn't that aside. I was in radio for several years, and things kind of ended the station that I was at, and I was found without a job. So I had to go back into the restaurant business.
Yep.
And that's where I've been for a while now, until we start off with this, which we're still doing.
The birth
clearly.
of the internet and then free equipment.
Right. Thanks, internet.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, free equipment. And then I suppose we ought to talk to Jason.
I'll throw it over to Jamar.
I mean, I suppose we might have to.
What's going on?
Who are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Who
are you?
My name's Jason.
Uh-huh.
That's with a J.
Uh-huh.
And
Jason.
Jason. Also an A. Let's see. I am 38. Apparently. That's what my birth certificate tells me.
Right.
But I don't legitimately remember 38 years of existence. So
No,
I
you
can't
probably
verify
wouldn't.
that. It's really just a document that I have taken faith in.
Mm-hmm.
I could be an amnesiac. Let's see. I was born a poor black man.
Right.
A peanut farmer.
You were born a man, is what I heard there.
Yes. Full grown.
Full-grown man.
Full-grown peanut farming man.
Okay.
Like, I already had an occupation.
Yeah.
When I came out. Like agroscience.
That's not a lot of people have occupations now, and you started out with one. That's actually pretty good.
I've been a diligent worker my entire life.
Okay.
Let's see. Farmed peanuts for a while, and then somebody told me something about how it wasn't a pea or a nut, and I looked it up, and it's a lagoon, and then I was like, I thought that was some kind of, like an oasis kind of thing, where like Brooke Shields hangs out, and so I started to question my life at that point. That's like 5 years old. I decided elementary school would be a good way. They didn't have elementary school in South Georgia for full-grown black peanut farmers, so I moved to Gwinnett.
Okay. That's a county here in Georgia.
That is a county.
Yeah.
It's also an old politician. But I didn't move to the politician. He's dead.
Yeah. We grieve for his family.
I got some good education. They got good schools at Gwinnett. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Never worked in a restaurant because restaurant workers don't get paid enough.
So what I gathered from that is that just a summary, a synopsis for everyone listening is that Jason was born a poor black man, peanut farmer, and then he realized that he wanted to go to school and moved to a Polynesian named Gwinnett.
Yes.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've loved pineapple sauce ever since. I know a lot of people say it's not okay to eat the pig, but, they probably just haven't tried enough of it.
And all this is true. Not a
100%
bit of this is made up.
I did do some of that theater. I did some of that chorus. I did some of that sports and the science and the math. What's that called? School. Yeah, I did all of that. I went through that. And they do 12 years of it. I mean,
Who does?
they,
Okay.
the people of Gwinnett, they do
man.
they do 12 years of it. So I went along with that program. I actually exceeded that program. I went 12 and a half years.
Oh.
Just to, push the envelope.
Right.
Let them know I was super dedicated, loyal. Also, I had failed some classes my freshman year.
That had nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
That wasn't a loyalty issue.
Nope.
It was more about, me rebelling against a lot of different things.
Okay.
So it's not as though you were disloyal. You were just rebellious.
Correct.
Okay. Definitely conflicting ideas, those.
I mean, what if I was loyal to the rebellion?
Fair
like
enough.
Luke
Touche.
Skywalker.
Touche.
Huh? What if I was Luke Skywalker of my high school? I mean, I wasn't, but what if I was? Let's imagine that.
Well, we'd have a different conversation going, I assume.
And I would
Womp
expect,
rats, lightsabers.
I would
Yeah.
definitely expect a spot-on Joker impersonation.
Which we're apparently not going to get.
Yeah,
No,
that's some
no.
fourth wall stuff I'm not prepared to handle. So let's see. What else happened to me? I became a world famous juggler immediately after leaving high school. Like graduation day, got on the plane, landed, handed the certificate, started juggling.
Where did you land?
I'm not sure to this day. I still haven't received.
Just got
any
on the
sort of
plane, it went
confirmation.
somewhere, and you're like,
went-
okay, here I am. Oh, thank you for the certificate.
When I landed, I got off, and I actually got off on one of the inflatable chutes that comes out of the airplane.
Those are fun.
And not like the normal way, I guess, like the tube. But
Did everyone else get off the normal
everybody
way?
else got off the normal way.
Oh, okay.
I
They
think you can rent
made
those
me.
for parties now.
They made me go down the chute,
Yeah.
and
Well-
then when I got down to the bottom,
What's the
they
smell?
gave me the certificate. And from that point on until I sat down just now, I've been juggling
Just
nonstop.
juggling
Nonstop.
day
5,
and night.
9, 12, 14 different things at a time.
Oh, wow. All at once?
All
5,
of
9,
those
12, and
numbers,
14
all of
things
those
together.
numbers
Yeah.
at the same time.
Oh, that's impressive.
And
And
also yesterday's lottery numbers.
And juggling.
Really
Had I-
low
had
numbers
I-
on the
had I-
lottery.
Had I have stopped juggling long enough
Yeah.
to realize what I was juggling, I'd be rich now.
Well, I don't think they've given out the money yet. You would need some more time.
You think?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. That's why I said I
So
don't
that's
know.
that's pretty
So
much
have you
my
primarily
story.
been throughout the years, all this juggling you've been doing, which of course is no secret to me and Dave.
Right. We've known about this the whole time.
Very well aware of you and your juggling prowess and your juggling aptitude. Constantly juggling. I mean, there's been several occasions where me and Dave have just wanted you to stop juggling your delusions for a moment, but you kept on it, man. You were very, very dedicated, and it's something that we appreciate.
I agree.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on from
Now that introductions,
Jason's
Now that we're all very aware
fantastic
of who we are.
stories of
And
fantastical
true,
nature.
and fantastical and true.
Yeah,
100%.
man, at least I ain't hating on the Jews.
that's true. You're not.
I was never hating on no Jews. I was simply
All right,
responding
we're gonna
to
move
your
on. You were the one to bring 'em
concept.
I love Jews. I bring them up all the time.
Do you?
Well, I mean, when I'm not juggling.
Right. Just bringing up
Which has been never
In
which we just
conversation.
established.
Look, you need to just stay off. You're supposed to affirm and not negate. Affirm, not negate. You're negating me. You're destroying me.
Well, you're you're completely you're talking over yourself here. You're contradicting yourself. I mean, I'm just trying to get the real story because our listeners are going to want to know who you are.
What's the real story? This is hard copy that we're doing, okay?
Nobody wants the real story. Real stories are stupid and boring and disappointing.
Yeah.
And our audience deserves better than that.
Escapism. Yes.
Anyway, so you want to talk about a different fantastical story?
Yeah,
the Westworld.
I came across this television show.
It's on HBO, correct?
On HBO, yes.
Not a sponsor.
No, not even remotely.
Yeah.
It is called Westworld, based on a Michael Crichton novel or movie or
both.
Or both.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
We could look that up, but we're not going to.
Star-studded program on HBO. It is about it seems like it's somewhat distant future, not terribly distant, but people pay money to enter this theme park that is completely populated and realized by androids.
Okay.
And in this world, they can do whatever they want and can't be hurt. So they can play the cowboy, they can play the hero, they can play the barkeep, whatever they want to do, and they can pretty much shoot and kill and wreak havoc in any way that they please. All of these androids that are inside this theme park are all set on these narratives. They're all set on their own storylines that can be disrupted and kind of panned out in several different ways depending on how the visitors interact with these androids. It's really fascinating, really cool, has some great stars in it. I'm only 2 episodes in right now, but it definitely seems like a show well worth watching.
Right. But I know from seeing the previews and having somewhat of an idea of how the movie went that there is definitely some conflict. There's some glitches.
Yeah. So these androids who have, for years, however long, they don't really, help you determine a timeline, have been docile and obedient and follow their timelines to a T. And now, with a recent update of some kind, there are some glitches. There is some questioning of the reality of their world and some self-awareness kind of coming about. It's really cool how they break it down, how they kind of paint this as like a giant simulation. There's story writers and there's the people who upkeep the androids. And then there are, of course, the androids themselves, who you're starting to get an idea of the characters that they are or the characters that they're becoming as their self-awareness becomes more prevalent and as they start to question their world a little bit more.
Okay.
You also have Ed Harris, who comes in. He's apparently been going to this park for years and years and years and years and has decided that he wants to stay here. He wants to live in the world, so he is working to find his way to remain in the world permanently.
Okay.
So this Westworld, I think one of the reasons that I find it so intriguing and fun and interesting is that it reminds me a great deal of some of those video games that I believe everyone here likes to play. Jason excluded; he's too busy juggling for games. But your Fallouts or your Elder Scrolls, very immersive, varying storylines that are predictable in a way, but can also be completely disrupted. And then you're seeing the theme park side where you're interacting with all of these androids, and you're seeing this giant, Western frontier style world where you start in the middle of the town and you can work your way out, and it gets more difficult and harrowing the further out you go.
It sounds, and you said that people can pay money and go there and become a part of this world. Mm-hmm. So it's like a LARP.
Very much,
a live action role playing thing. Mm-hmm. But it's Western themed. It's not a lot of LARPs you hear about are medieval or what have you. But
so they bring you in. It's very expensive to enter apparently, and whenever you arrive, you get your room, you get all this stuff like it's a hotel resort or whatnot. And then they have all of these different outfits that are all perfectly sized to fit you, and you can kind of pick your style and pick your wardrobe before you go in and decide what kind of character you're going to be. Are you going to be the chivalrous cowboy, or are you going to be the murderous, cowboy? Yeah, the bandito, the murderous bandito.
Are all non-paying entities within the park, are they all animatronic? The horses, the birds, the cougars?
From what I can tell, from what the intro seems to indicate, is that everything is an android. The horses, the animals, everything, which enables the paying members of the park to come in and
be able to do whatever they want. With
like,
no real-world repercussions.
Right. They'll start shooting the androids, shooting the horses, all this other stuff, and they go down and they die, and then they get hauled off for a reset, and they go to this lab side, and you see the lab side of it, which is definitely the corporate structure, the scientific endeavor, things like that, and you see them rebuild these androids and get them all fixed up and send them back out there on their way.
And it's that side where Sir Anthony Hopkins comes into play, right?
Yes.
He's the curator,
he's kind of the
genius behind.
He's the creator of the park.
Okay.
And he has recently uploaded a small patch into the update software that has enabled some of the androids, or hosts as they're called in the show, to remember their past experiences, the times that, they've had all these terrible things happen to them over and over and over again, things that are supposed to be erased every time they get reset and they start up again.
Right.
Now, I've actually been there to this Westworld. It was pretty intriguing, but the ticket was incredibly costly.
Very expensive.
I basically had to barter my way in there. Fortunately, that system was still in play. I did meet Ed Harris,
the Man in Black.
He was unable to kill me.
Right, because you were also a paying member of the park. Paying members of the park can't kill each other, and the androids can't kill paying members of the park.
They can't, or they're not supposed to?
They can't. Like, the guns that they're given, for some reason, fatally affect the androids, but will not fire upon a paying member of the game.
Now let's say I wanted to kill you, right?
Okay.
And
not a stretch.
And I was firing. Let's say I was trying to fire my gun at an android, but someone then shoved you in front of the gun. Would that?
That's a very good question.
Is there an actual projectile being fired, or is it like a bunch of squibs that are placed within the androids?
There are actual projectiles being firing.
So there is a danger level.
There can be. We did see an android fire upon a paying member of the game, and although they were being shot, the bullets were simply absorbed by the pop, pop, pop. No effect on him, almost as though he couldn't even feel it.
Okay.
It was very interesting because it sounds like something that, had I the funds, I would definitely enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
I would definitely try and take a whack at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
I'm gonna check the show out. We don't have cable.
Do you have the HBO Go?
I do have access to the HBO Go.
It's on there.
Well, imagine that that you do have the money. I'm footing the bill.
Okay.
Because of the barter system.
Right.
I put in play earlier. It's canon. So I'm footing the bill. You guys are going in. What do you do, Dave? What's your role in Westworld?
See, I don't know. I've never really been a big Western fan. So
I don't like it enough to give you the whole week.
Right. I get it. Yeah. Like I said, I've never been a really big Western fan, so it's never been something that I've thought about. Like, I like the idea of the show, but not something I could see myself really getting into. But I don't know. I would. No. I mean, I might like to find me a nice tavern wench. But I don't know. I would honestly probably just get a horse and just ride around.
See, I feel like I would definitely take the explorer route. I would try and see as much of this created world as possible. I would definitely interact with people, but I probably wouldn't buy into too many of the quests or.
Yeah, I'm not looking to kill anybody or anything like that. I just have a good time, just see what it's about. Just see the world that has been created for me.
Okay, you're just looking for the exploration achievement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legit.
What about you, Jason? What kind of character would you find yourself becoming in Westworld? I mean, you're footing the bill with the barter system.
I am probably going to go in and take over the town. I think I'll become mayor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Very lofty dreams there.
if there's actually like an election taking place in the time frame that they give you, but I'm going to go ahead and, let them know that they need to engage that so that I can go in there, schmooze a bunch of people, kiss some hands, shake some babies, and boom, Mayor McMee.
Mayor McHugh.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Justin?
could walk
you wanna-
around with a sash. It says mayor.
And you could probably walk around with sash regardless.
I mean, I could, but I want all the androids to respect it.
Right.
Okay.
You want
Or
them to
be-
actually
be
respond to your
programmed.
mayorship.
I want the
Yeah.
androids to be programmed to respect it.
There you go. And Justin, you do the explorer thing too, or
I'd probably do the explorer thing. I don't know. I might take, some liberties in terms of, just taking what I want.
yeah,
Because I know it's all fabricated, but I definitely wouldn't go on like a murderous spree or anything like that. It would be all for the sake of exploration. I'm not going to buy a horse. I'll just steal a horse and go explore. It's not hurting anybody.
That actually brings some up. Let's say that you go into this Westworld, and you've seen the show, so that's why I'm asking you. If I were to go in and like steal a man's horse, would I be put in Westworld jail or?
I don't think so. I think
Really?
it is.
It's like, oh,
it is.
that horse
You are
got
paying
stole.
a lot of money
Yeah.
to come into this world. The rules almost do not apply to you.
Okay.
It's a spoon feeding.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's you do whatever you like, and we'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
The sheriff might get called out, but he won't be able to find your trail, or he will, and you'll be able to just be like, "Screw you, sheriff! I'm the best." And then he challenges you to a duel
And then you win.
on the mesa.
This prostitute is awfully faulty, but this guest seems interested. Let the guest do what they want.
Okay.
We'll pull them tomorrow.
All right. Any more thoughts on the Westworld?
Even the snakes,
I mean,
Are there snakes?
animatronic snakes.
I think so. I think
Can I
every
pay-
living thing, with the exception of
Can I
the
pay
pink-
more money to not have snakes?
Yeah. What if I want to? What if I want to kill and cook something on the open range?
That's a damn good question. One that unfortunately I don't have the answer to. I would assume that
Mayor McKilling and cooking stuff on the open range.
Mayor
That's what I want
McKillen
to be.
and cooking stuff. I mean, I would assume that there'd have to be some kind of contingency in place, but
Yeah, I would think.
who am I to say?
Right?
The guy who's seen the show. That's
Only
who
2
you are
episodes
saying.
in.
Well,
Hey, we're asking you to speculate. Deep here.
I'm speculating that you would be
all
shit out of luck.
specked out.
All right. Well, anyway,
Okay.
Westworld. Catch it on HBO if
Not a
they
sponsor.
become a sponsor. Otherwise,
Do whatever you want.
YouTube that shit. If they become a sponsor.
Right.
So, what's next on your
Reaching
list?
out to YouTube and HBO. Lines are open.
Lines are always open
Lines are always
for
open,
paying customers.
especially if we get a phone company that becomes a sponsor.
Also, a phone.
Yeah, a phone. That would be important. I don't know if you guys know this. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just listed their nominees for, I guess, 2017's induction.
I knew that because you introed it earlier.
I did. Yep. That's why I did that, so that you would be prepared.
In
fact-
I didn't gather.
Justin, if you can get the official TalkyBox tablet and send it over to rockhall.com, you can actually see the actual nominees. Anybody listening can also do that, but we're going to do it. The reason I bring it up, though, is because there's some nominees that I feel are odd choices this year. And in looking it up, I found that there were more odd choices that have come about in recent years.
Now, where is
No.
that? That's Ohio?
It's in Cleveland, Ohio, is where the actual Hall of Fame is. However, they don't always do the ceremony there. They've also done in New York and Los Angeles, and they kind of change it up every year apparently.
Because the ceremony is more than Cleveland can handle? Or
I would assume. Apparently, they do it in Cleveland every 3 years, and they do it somewhere else at other times. But so I know some of the inductees. We have I know Depeche Mode, Pearl Jam, J. Giles Band, but then we also have a few that are kind of odd, such as you see there, Janet Jackson
Interesting.
is being inducted, as well as down here at the bottom, Tupac Shakur is up for
Interesting.
nomination in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
So let's just go ahead and take the list from the top, and
Yeah.
we can discuss and pull some things out as we as we see it. So the number one on the list seems to be alphabetical.
It is, yeah.
Bad Brains.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Brains is a nominee. Shaka Khan, also a nominee. Chic, Depeche Mode, Electric Light Orchestra.
Right.
The J, say that for me, Jason.
Giles.
J. Giles Band. Jane's Addiction, Janet Jackson, Joan Baez. Joe Tex, Journey. Kraftwerk, MC5, Pearl Jam, Steppenwolf, The Cars, The Zombies, Tupac Shakur, and Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, many of those, I think we can all agree, certainly belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, quite a few of them.
I mean, Steppenwolf, The Cars,
Many of them we actually
Journey.
agree play rock and roll.
Right. But then we get into these others where you're like, really? Like Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur, I don't think anyone would confuse for rock and roll. So I did some looking into who has been inducted. Just last year, NWA got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ice Cube and all the other guys who I don't know who are in that group. Clearly not a rock group. Public Enemy was inducted several years ago. I found out that James Brown was in the first round of inductees back in the 80s, I believe, when they first started doing it. Maybe it was the 90s. I don't recall. Which I would always consider James Brown to be R&B and soul.
Absolutely.
Not rock. Aretha Franklin is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And
It's very interesting.
so I did some more
So
looking.
maybe it
around.
should just be called like the Influential Artists Hall of Fame.
I would assume. Now, there are different categories that you can be inducted in. One of them being a performer. Another one is influential artists. However, the ones that I've named are all in there as performers, not influential artists. There's also, I think, producers and a few others.
Can
lesser
you think of
categories.
any of the influential artists that have been
I
inducted?
cannot recall. You can actually look it up on the website here at inductees. There's something like 13 pages or something like that.
310 results found.
Yep.
Let's go for interesting.
In fact, I think you can actually look up right there. What people are in as.
Award for Musical Excellence.
But yeah, I thought that was very odd that I guess it's not really in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's just the Hall of Fame, the Music Hall of Fame.
There's actually a category called Sideman. Very interesting.
Which I don't recognize. At least glancing at it like I am, I don't recognize any of those names.
No, not really.
Which people who are farther into classic rock and stuff like that, or music of the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s might have a better understanding of them.
I mean, there's definitely some interesting ones in here. There's some that make a little more sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, B.B. King is in there. I
BB
get that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guess you're not famous. Like it's so, I mean, it's the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So you can naturally assume that like everybody in there is famous.
Right.
But eventually time will march on.
That's true.
And the percentage of people that are even aware of you and your works will decrease unless constantly brought up to media, and that doesn't happen. So
That's certainly accurate. And not only that, but also, you might be famous to a particular group of people, or you might be famous for something that only a particular group of people know about or are interested
jazz pianists,
in. Yeah,
Fame
happen
is
to
certainly
all know
relative.
this guy,
I
but-
know nothing about jazz pianists. You could give me, you could give me the names of many jazz pianists.
Thank you.
And I would have no clue about any of them.
Yeah. Fame is relative. We all recognize certain celebrities and stars that perhaps other people might not.
Right.
They're the world famous, but I mean, I think when you're looking over this list of inductees of even performers, that many of them have not reached that world famous status.
No. Well, then some of those you look at back to the this year's inductees. You have a few such as I think Jane's Addiction was in there. That came around in the 90s. But you also have like Journey, which came out in the 80s. You have what else do we have? J. Giles Band from the 80s. And then
Depeche Mode.
Electric Light Orchestra has been around since, I believe, the late 60s. And they're just now getting inducted.
Absolutely.
If they
when looking at some of the
inducted.
performers that were inducted,
I mean, Joan
Aerosmith.
Baez, she's like
she's relatively
Janis Joplin kind of era. So.
Yeah.
Aerosmith didn't get inducted till 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith, which has been around for a while, I think.
Since the 70s.
Yeah, so
Maybe the late 60s also. I don't recall.
but did not get inducted until 2001. You know, I'd say
They were in that
years
boy
after
band,
their peak.
Run DMC, but they split after that Walk This Way song.
Funny you should mention that. Run DMC also inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, of course, they were in that boy band with Aerosmith.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's in doing some research on this before we came on the air today, on the air like we actually are
Live.
live on the air.
live.
But apparently the way it works, like I don't know, I guess I never really thought about who is coming up with these nominations and stuff, and you know what governing body is over the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Apparently it's just the people who started the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's like 4 of them get together and like, how about these several bands?
Interesting.
And they kind of talk it out, and they give, I think, a maximum of 12 nominees, and then typically a maximum of 6 will actually get inducted. The rest can piss off until the next year, I guess.
It
Right.
does seem like they've got a broad spectrum.
They definitely
Absolutely.
They went all the way across the rainbow on that one. So
do. Yeah.
Do you suppose that it's kind of political in the same way that the Walk of Fame, the stars on the Walk of Fame,
Absolutely.
are political? It's
Yeah.
not necessarily any measurement of commercial success or fame, but politics and going around.
Oh yeah. I'm sure there's definitely some lobbying here and there.
Absolutely, that's the
probably-
word I was looking for.
Probably not necessarily from the individual artists, but maybe their labels and agents and such
Publicists, so on and so
like that.
forth.
and to some degree, I imagine some of the artists
Maybe some of the artists, yeah.
are like, I'd like to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I
Apparently-
rock. I mean, I feel like Depeche Mode, Journey, like this 2016, like
Yeah.
that's a little late, right? Journey
Yep.
and Depeche Mode.
Absolutely. And even like we said, Electrolyte Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Also
I mean,
known
the-
as
the-
ELO. You may,
also
you may
ELO.
be
The
more
Zombies,
familiar with
the Zombies
Oh, yeah.
were exclusively a 50s and 60s band, and
Steppenwolf is in there. But then I just think it's so hilarious that Tupac Shakur is up for nomination on this. Nothing against these other Tupac and Janet Jackson and NWA. Nothing against them. They just don't really fit.
Well, you mentioned production. Is it possible that Tupac is in for being a producer?
It might actually be on there, but I don't think so.
And Janet may actually have something to do with the label. For all I know.
Could be, but like I said, like a lot of these, when I was actually looking up the previous inductees, even a lot of the ones that I thought maybe they're in there for production, maybe they're in there for influential artists, they're in there for performers. So apparently a big deal has been the Monkees, where they have not been. I don't believe they've even been nominated. Which
And they're not messing around.
they're not messing around. No. They're too busy singing. Put anybody down.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Except they definitely put the people down.
They were mad.
The surviving members, Peter Tork and Mike Nesmith, have actually come on record saying that they don't understand why they haven't been inducted or nominated rather. A lot of people, like I think a lot of the various music publications, Rolling Stone and such, have been like, why the hell aren't the Monkees in here? Just because they had a lot of produced and all kinds of stuff doesn't mean they aren't talented musicians that
And very
deserve recognition.
influential.
absolutely influential. Yeah.
They had that TV show. I watched it.
Yep, I watched it. I don't know if Justin watched it.
No.
No,
Justin
he
didn't watch it. Justin too young.
Too young.
Yeah. When did you have time to watch it if you were juggling the whole time?
No, this was way back before.
Before the juggling took off?
Yeah, this was back when I was farming.
Oh, okay. When did you have time to watch it while you were farming? Farming those legumes.
Nighttime? You don't farm at nighttime.
Really?
It's a
I thought you were a
daytime activity.
dedicated farmer.
I was a dedicated farmer. You have to
During
get
the daytime only.
14 hours of sleep to farm for the other
For the other 10?
10. What's 14 minus 24? Is it 10?
Negative 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I was tired all the time. The negative 10 hours of sleep, I was good.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The math definitely adds up.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes it subtracts
early bird gets the
the
peanut.
math.
Gets the peanut. Let's see. Yeah.
So if you, we've already looked over the list of induction nominees, aside from those on the list, Dave, and obviously barring the Monkees, what's a performer or a band or group that you feel ought to be in the Hall of Fame?
That's actually a really good question. A lot of the ones that are in there, a lot of the ones I would say are already in there, or are being nominated this year, like Journey and
I couldn't actually say because I don't know who's in there. So like I could name a bunch of people I feel should be in there, but there's a good chance they're probably in there.
Like I said, there's what 300 something.
310.
Yeah, 310. Now I did look through that list earlier today, and there was
Journey
a lot
should be
in
in
there.
there.
I do agree.
I agree with that.
Journey should be in there, absolutely.
I don't recall if Boston is in there, but I feel they should be. A lot of the older, because I know one of the stipulations of being nominated is it has been at least 25 years since the release of your first album. So any of these bands that have come out in the past, just in the
like Pearl
the
Jam,
millennium,
for example.
Yeah, Pearl Jam is up for nomination this year.
And
I don't
there's
know.
probably like right around the threshold of when they'd be allowed to be nominated to be inducted. I feel like they were 90s band, maybe late 80s. Let's see if we can't find some more information there. But I feel like they're probably right there on the cusp of when they would be, eligible, as it were.
Now, Ollie, I know Nirvana is already in there.
1991. So August 1991 was when they released their first album, 10. Yeah. So they are literally 25 years from their first album.
And I assume that Nirvana went in last year because I believe that Nevermind came out in 91 also. So they probably would have, or it may have been very early 91. But I mean, like I said, the actual induction will be in 2017 for this one. So Pearl Jam may have actually been up for it last year and just didn't get in. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Right.
I don't know exactly how voting works. I don't know if anybody can. I think there was on the website you can vote. I don't know if your vote matters.
What sort of impact it might have.
Yeah, but I believe there's particular people who are allowed to vote.
Use the electorate process.
No one should ever do that.
And there should be like 10 famous artists that are already members of the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And they're the ones that get to vote, but we get to back one of them. And so maybe they'll listen to our votes, maybe they won't.
Maybe they'll do their own thing.
Maybe America can influence them, and maybe they'll just be like, no, I really like Journey.
Yeah.
That's very political, Jason.
Yeah, right?
Very political.
Right?
I did read that
I'm trendy.
The Sex Pistols
Topical.
Were inducted several years back and were one of virtually the only artists to not show up to their induction because they didn't give a shit.
That's
in fact
spectacular.
They sent word that everybody could go fuck themselves and they didn't care.
That's pretty rock and roll.
It's pretty punk rock right there.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they, as far as I know, they're the only ones who didn't show up who were still alive to be able to.
That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know why you would want to do that, but then again,
it's Sex Pistols, man. They don't care.
Sex Pistols.
Yeah. Who, Jason? Who would you like to see in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that isn't, as far as you know?
Well, let's try and narrow it down a little bit because we already have a lot of people that are already in there. We might not know if they're in there or not. Why don't we look at people who would now become eligible 25 years after their first album?
I think
those in the 90s.
Next year is actually going to be the year that they bring Sublime.
Sublime.
I think Sublime
could be in.
Very good.
I don't know when they put their first album out. I assume it was early 90s.
I want to say 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah, I could definitely get behind.
Stone Temple Pilots would be a good one.
Yeah. Live,
yeah. All the grunge bands.
Just all of those.
The 90s.
All really, some great albums, great.
Yeah.
Alternative rock came out in the 90s. And remember growing up, even though I didn't really listen to rock in the 90s because I was a wee lad, on into the 2000s, 90s rock was still very prevalent on the radio stations that I listened to. Some radio stations had dedicated 90s hours, the 90s at noon, where you would get like an hour or 2 hour block of nothing but 90s rock and roll, and it was always great. I always loved that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I still I recall a couple years ago there's a radio station in Atlanta that had what they called the Retroplex. And they played it was always my concept, late 70s punk, new wave 80s, alternative 90s, which fit right in with everything I liked, except they played a crap ton of Duran Duran, which I was not okay with. But everything else was fantastic in my mind. It was always like an hour long at lunch, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right about what it would be. Yeah. Kind of give everybody a little throwback. I really like Jason's idea of Sublime. I feel like Sublime definitely should be in there. They're another one of those just unique, influential bands that did a lot during the short time that they were releasing albums.
Yeah. Damn you, heroin. So,
heroin's not good for anybody.
Speaking of heroin.
Oh, okay.
Holiday mascots. I'd like to discuss holiday mascots with you guys.
Holiday mascots such as like the Easter Bunny and the Santa Claus and
almost exactly
Krampus
like those guys,
and
except I was going to say them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Did you want to now?
No, it's unnecessary now.
I mean, just because it's unnecessary doesn't mean we don't have to do it.
Santa Claus. You got the Cupid. You got all of them. You know, like, what about you? If you could be one of the holiday mascots, Dave, which
one of the ones that's already around, or
one of the ones that's already a pre-established mythos? Which holiday mascot do you think you'd go for? I mean, you've got Santa Claus has got some perks, right? Everybody automatically thinks Santa. Like, what am I going to get for Santa? But don't underscore all the rest of them.
Now think about it, I can't think of a whole bunch of mascots. Like, obviously, there's plenty of holidays, but not everyone has like a particular entity with it traditionally.
We could start making. I was actually considering that as the secondary portion of this part. Where
Sorry, I jumped ahead. I didn't know.
No, yeah, you're moving too far forward too fast.
That could be the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
Right. Well, I mean, I was thinking like Labor Day could be like a real tired, grumpy redneck kind of dude. Who could be like, I work all damn day, and I didn't even get Labor Day off. Happy Labor Day. Like, that kind of.
That's perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
It was raining. I was on a roof. My friend got struck by lightning. Happy Labor Day. I make $17 a week.
It's awful. He
needs a new job.
That's way under minimum wage,
right? But
you can have the Father's
you can't
Day.
Help but like him, and you understand why he drinks heavily.
Oh yeah. Father's Day, where it's just a really tired man who's like, please just don't spend my money. Like that's all Father's Day is. Just the Father's Day father. Thanks for the tie. Please stop spending my money.
Just a guy asleep and a lazy boy. Like that's the Father's Day mascot.
Yeah.
Like you can hear sports playing on the TV. He's asleep with like a sandwich on his belly.
Yeah.
Kick back and a lazy boy. And he actually doesn't have any powers or lines or anything, but just that imagery gives hope to fathers everywhere. Mother's Day, it could be like
Mom's getting a foot rub. Getting everything served to her on a silver platter.
Yeah. But you can
nails done.
I mean, it could actually just, I believe in equal rights. It could just be a lady kickback, passed out in a lazy boy with some sports playing, and
well, I feel like there's definitely like an imbalance when it comes to the way we treat fathers on Father's Day versus the way we treat mothers on Mother's Day.
Yeah, traditionally, in my experience at least, yes, I would say that.
And we all know
mothers
why.
Always get a little bit more pampering. They get things their way, and Dad, it's normally like, hey, I got you a card.
Yep.
And we all know why. It's because of the uterus.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, that whole burden, that 9 months of I carried you inside me.
And then I had to put up with you for the rest of your life.
Right. I mean, dads get just a little bit less respect, when it comes to that. Like, I mean, we appreciate you being there. That's cool.
Yeah.
But, you never actually had to like carry me up the stairs inside you.
Now I wonder I didn't deal with this, or I didn't experience this, but like I wonder how it is for the single parent on those days.
Probably still hard. They probably still have to go to work.
Probably do.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Sunday, so maybe not. Depending on where they work.
If they're a single parent, they probably are working. Sunday's a Monday or money day.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad didn't really get a lot of great Father's Day. I mean, we tried our best as kids, but I don't really remember them because we didn't place a lot of stress on them. But it wasn't until me and my siblings started to reach adulthood that we really started to dote on my dad on Father's Day and, try and show him a good time.
Wow, this conversation got emotional way faster
so
than intended.
deep.
Let's
It's
move
all your
past
fault.
Mothers and Father's
100%
Day. We
your fault.
respect our mothers and our fathers
Absolutely.
as we should, and all of our listeners should go and hug their parents because they won't have them forever, and they should be very, very happy. So
So mascots, you were saying holiday mascots. Let me go ahead and name the ones I can think of off the top of my head here. We got Santa Claus.
Right, we do.
Easter Bunny.
Yes.
Cupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah,
you got a few. You got your Krampus.
I mean, you do
Which
get
is,
like kind of a leprechaun kind of a thing for St. Patty's Day.
It's never like a named one. I guess you could take St. Patrick and assign him to it, but he clearly wasn't a leprechaun.
No. Nor did he actually remove snakes.
No, nor was he Irish as far as I know.
No, I think he moved there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
I'm not Irish. I don't know. I don't have to know. I'm a journalist. I don't have to know facts.
Yeah. I'm a peanut farmer.
Yeah.
So obviously I don't need to know facts.
I'm a big fan of the story
peanut
of
facts,
Krampus.
like they're lagoons.
Mm-hmm.
Krampus is a fun story. He's a fun.
I don't know it. I didn't
fun
watch
in
the
a way,
movie.
Like a terrifying, haunting children's dreams kind of way. But
Yeah.
still an interesting story, like Santa's evil counterpart.
What about 4th of July? I mean, yeah, that's a national holiday, but still, we're Americans. We can talk
Statue of
about it.
Liberty, typically. I feel
Or Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
That's
Yeah.
another good one.
What's that? Old
New Year-
Lang Syne or whatever.
New Year's Baby.
New Year's Baby.
But it's the old man and the New Year's baby. It's like
Yeah, it's
For New Year's Eve, I guess you got an old man.
The New Year's Eve is the old man. It's the ushering of the old year, and then the baby is.
And
the
I don't
fresh
know if
new
he
year.
carries in a new baby like a creep, or if he turns into a new baby
I don't know.
also like a creep.
Probably both.
Probably both.
Yeah.
What
Carries
about
himself
Halloween? You get
Weird old man.
everybody loves the Jack Skellington.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the
that's not
jack-o'-lantern.
the Jack-o'-lantern is still not. It's not a character. Jack Skellington's a character, but it's from a movie. It's not.
It's the same
really,
with the heart from Valentine's Day. Like it's not
well, with
really
Valentine's Day,
a
you kind of
character,
have
but
Cupid.
yeah,
you know,
it's a theme.
Cupid taking from Greek mythology or Roman, one of those.
I believe Cupid is the Roman version.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I believe the Greek version was called Eros.
Yeah,
E-R-O-S.
I believe you're right. Yep.
Eros.
But usually, the cherub has always had religious connotation, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, the cherub is an angel.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right. So you agree with me then? Cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I mean, so what
then-
could we do for Halloween? Everybody loves Halloween.
You have. I mean, if you go with peanuts, you have the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
But was that Halloween or was that more just fall in general? I don't
Jim
recall.
Varney,
Okay.
Ernest, saves Halloween.
Yeah. Well, he also saved Christmas.
He did save Christmas.
He also went to camp.
Oh man!
He was scared stupid at one point. That's what that one was. It wasn't saves Halloween. It was scared stupid.
Look, he still saved Halloween.
Did he?
With the power of
course.
milk.
Also, those kids at the camp. I mean,
Saved those kids at camp.
He was influential.
How many people?
He would have
will
probably
get
been a
these
saint,
references?
a long time. If he'd have
Saint-
been born a long time ago.
Saint Barney.
Yep. All right. Well, what other holidays are there? There's
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Memorial
right?
Day. So a soldier would, I guess.
Yeah,
Columbus Day, which that one just passed.
Yeah, you got Columbus Day.
like a sinking ship.
Veterans Day,
That'd be kind of fucked up, though.
Veterans Day. Arbor Day.
Arbor Day. Yeah.
But you couldn't use
Earth
the same
Day.
soldier, right? You gotta.
Well, I feel like on Memorial Day it would be a soldier, and on Veterans Day it would be the White Cross. As sad a correlation as that is,
I mean, and that's
Memorial Day
imagery,
is-
but that's not a character.
It's not a character,
gotta
no,
be
it's-
Yeah. Now, Memorial Day is traditionally thought of as Memorial of World War II, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be that era of soldier, not World War One, not Revolutionary War, not Vietnam, not all these others. So
The point of holidays is to be, mindful of the past, but also to celebrate what they have given us. So
Absolutely.
we got to take all this negative spin away from it. We got to pull away all the negative. And Memorial Day can't be a sinking ship. It's got to be a barbecue grill.
I thought that was
talks to
Columbus Day was the sinking ship.
Columbus Day is a tortured Indian, and it's very, very unfair.
Yep.
Also, Thanksgiving.
Yep.
The same. tortured
pilgrims,
Indian.
turkeys, and
he's
tortured
even
Native
offended
Americans.
that I'm calling him an Indian because he truly is a native.
Yeah. So
We agree.
we agree.
So maybe like an angry. No, that's not positive.
Yeah, you're the one that's saying positive.
Right. And then I'm not reinforcing it.
Nope.
So y'all are gonna have to help me here.
Just like a blood-soaked. No, that's not right.
No, that's not a blanket on. No.
All right, so like a long trail. No.
Like a feather dipped in tears.
Corn.
Corn.
Perfect.
There we
with
got
a
it.
smiley face and eyeballs.
Oh, that's yep.
Corn
There you
Got
go.
it.
Googly eyes and a smiley face. Oh,
And smallpox blankets.
and
Damn it! You ruined it.
Ruined it. But
Well, we'll
seriously,
think about that for next time on TalkyBox. That pretty much wraps up this hour.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Roughly an hour.
Yeah.
All right, so
I do want to give a little bit some thanks out.
okay.
I want to thank Skylar and Rosika Salva. They're the ones who gave us this equipment that fell off a truck. Without them, we couldn't be doing this.
not with people listening.
Right.
No.
We'd just be sitting around talking
Which is crazy. People
Like we
just
normally
staring
do.
at each
Right.
other At a table.
before we decided to record it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of recording, Matt Hicks, who has helped us out with this computer and recording software and everything. Yeah. Thanks to those guys.
Yeah.
Also,
Thanks, guys.
God
Sure.
and all of our parents.
Yep.
All of your parents, actually. Remember what I said about going and hugging them.
Yep, definitely do that.
Don't forget that shit. Tell them Jason says hey.
I would like
From
to
hashtag TalkyBox.
Hashtag TalkyBox.
while we're on the
Thank
circle
train?
of the thank train,
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and extend a thank you to Dave and Jason for housing this little endeavor of ours, having the setup here on the ready and allowing us all to get together and talk a whole lot of shit for a while.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome.
Hey, thanks.
And I want to thank Jason for stopping juggling so we can do this for an hour.
And speaking of that, guys, I'm starting to get the twitch.
Yep.
I'm going to go get some balls.
That's it for TalkyBox this week. Tune in next week for more things that we're going to talk about.
Have a good night.